Heyo, it's Michael Saul, but everybody calls me Tiny, so you can too. And this video is more updates, 2 new stocks to watch, and an email from a fan. This is for the week of August 15th, 2016, and I hope you appreciate all the cool graphic enhancements on this title slide. Hey, you give a 47-year-old Photoshop, and this is what he's going to do. All right, so let's take a look at the first stock. Delta, talked about this last week, reports August 16th as per Yahoo Finance. Again, no idea if that's going to be correct. Got to do your own due diligence. So what happened since we last left Delta? A little bit of a push up here, followed by a nice push, and then give back on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a pullback, and then Friday, another push up. So it still looks like it could go, but got to be careful here because it reports earnings, and my rule is never to buy just into earnings. Okay, so again, I want to be clear on this. A couple of weeks out, a week out, couple of days out, fine, but holding over earnings is a pure gamble. And I'm going to go a little soapboxy here, not much though, as I adjust my chair. And I want to talk about someone that I listened to recently. So I've been kind of binging reading trading books and going through videos and stuff like that because I'm putting together a couple of free special reports that I'm going to tell you all about when they're ready, and you can download them and all that stuff. And one of the people that I'm listening to is considered a guru by some, which is fine. I'm not knocking gurus. A lot of people are considered gurus that want to be, some don't want to be, whatever it is. And one of his big, I don't know, I mean, maybe he's on the soapbox, or maybe one of his big tenets, I guess maybe it's called, is that all the things that you hear in the market are just false. All like the rules that people try to tell you are just BS. And I don't agree with that. I'm not saying this guy's wrong, not saying this guy's a flake. It's not the point of this. I'm not even going to out him because that's not fair to do. But one of the things that he said was, and people tell you not to hold over earnings, and I say, why not? Okay. Now, whether he's trying to be controversial or not, there are some facts that are indisputable. You could go through this yourself. If you don't believe me, it's fine. But you can go through earnings releases, and see what the stock did into the release and then after the release. And in my opinion, you will not be able to gain an edge. There is no edge in doing that. It is a random trade, buying or selling short ahead of an earnings report. Even if you had quote unquote inside information, and I'm not here talking about if inside information is right, or it should be legal, or it's good that it's illegal. That's not the point of this video. But the truth is that most inside information is wrong anyway when it comes to picking a direction, because a lot of times, I know what we're going to report earnings, but so what? Even if you beat it doesn't mean the stock's going up. Even if you miss it doesn't mean the stock is going down. So you can Google it. It's fine. I mean, if you really want to take the time to do the research, it could be worthwhile, but you'll see that inside information doesn't even give an edge, okay, most of the time. So that being said, if quote unquote knowing what's going to happen isn't an edge, how is having no freaking idea an edge? And that's what buying into earnings is. So that's my rule. It's been my rule for 16 years. You could do whatever you want. It's your money. So Delta was the first stock that we looked at last week. The second stock was BEBE, or BEBE, however you pronounce it. I really don't care. It reports August 30th as per Yahoo. Again, we're going to talk about a stock in a few minutes where you'll see you really better double check these, but it came out of this little coil and is now in what I call a sidecar pattern. So let's see if it could lift above here, get going. You notice it had a hard time closing above this high. This high was 79 cents. It did get above it finally Friday with 80 cents, but got to see if it can make a move. Maybe it can get up to the dollar mark, whatever it is. Just keep in mind, earnings are due shortly. So 2 stocks I want to look at this week. One is a lower price stock, and the other one is a higher price stock. Not Google higher priced, but it's just a little bit over $100. But before I get to those two stocks, I want to talk about another stock, and this stock is HTBX. Now, according to Yahoo, this stock reports Friday, not this coming Friday, but Friday the 12th. They didn't report. So I did some investigation on it, and I found out that they're supposed to be reporting Tuesday before the market. Now, again, that is too close for comfort, but I just want to point it out once again. This is a beautiful setup. Momentum to the upside after being dead for several months. Nice shot of momentum. Beautiful coil right at what I call a key decision area. And I have a bunch of key decision areas that highlight favorable location, because location is one of the three components of a perfect trade setup. And right around the 200-day moving average is one of my favorite key decision areas, because there's a good chance the stock is not going to stay there for very long. Look, and it's not just the stock. It's a good chance that price does not stick around its 200-day moving average for very long. You can go and look at some stocks, and you can see maybe sometimes it'll hang around there for a couple of weeks, but usually it's not going to stay there long. So this is set up to move. Based on the momentum preceding it, okay, it is suggestive that that move would be higher. However, the fact that earnings is coming out Tuesday before the market, I think that's the best I could find, but whatever it is, it has to be soon, because they last reported May 11th, okay? So it has to be soon. That this is not a favorable opportunity. There's no edge here. Again, you're flipping a coin. That's all you're doing here. Oh, maybe it'll go up after earnings. Oh, maybe it won't go up after earnings. Okay, but I just want to point that out because I like to look at these stocks and see what happens after earnings, just to prove that, once again, it is random. Okay, so that's the stock that I wanted to look at that had earnings. Now I'm going to talk about the two stocks that I want to look at for this week that are not going to be earnings influence, because earnings have recently passed. But before I get there, let's talk about the email I received from my fan. So this week I sent out an email that was called Haters, Dream Stealers, and Jealous Jerk-Off. So it's a little off color up there. But it was basically an email that talked about how if you start to do well, or you forget about doing well, even if you just try to trade the market, the only support you're going to get is basically none. Okay, people are going to come out and hate on you, going to try to steal your dreams because they could never make money. They're a bunch of losers. And, I talked very frankly. A lot of these people could be your relatives, could be somebody that you love, or that say they love you, but they get pretty jealous, okay? Especially if you start doing well, they tell you, what are you doing? And I wrote a whole email on it, so I'm not going to go over that email. But I got some really good feedback off that email. A lot of people were writing me saying, I know exactly what you're talking about, or, hey, it's glad to hear this. Somebody had to say this, all that. But this morning, Sunday, I'm doing this Sunday at 1 o'clock, so Sunday at 7:31 in the morning, I got this email from somebody whose name I'm not going to reveal, because that's what he's looking for, attention, so there's no reason to reveal his name. It says, "What the hell, Tiny? You wasted my time with your tales of woe. I don't give a rat's ass about your problems. I don't know what happened with you and Paul, but I sure missed the Sunday night strategy sessions. I could always tell you were standoffish towards Paul. You don't hold a candle to him, and you know it. I will unsubscribe now, you miserable cheeseburger." And I know part of the email is cut off here, but it said, what you're missing is, it says always tell. Okay, so let's break this email down real quick. What the hell, Tiny? You wasted my time with your tales of woe. I apologize for that. You didn't have to read the email, but you did. Maybe you thought it was something worthwhile in it. A lot of people did, but you didn't. Okay. I don't give a rat's ass about your problems. I can appreciate that. Nobody cares about anyone else's problems. All they care about is their own problems. So I can appreciate that. But again, you opted into the freaking email list, okay? I don't know what happened with you and Paul. Nothing happened with me and Paul, except I decided I didn't want to continue the Sunday night strategy sessions. I sure missed the Sunday night strategy sessions. So do a lot of people, getting a lot of emails asking us to restart them, and we're considering it. Okay, but right now we decided to end it. It was just a lot of work getting done on the weekend. I was burning out, and I decided to take a break. And Paul was okay with that, so that's why we did it. Now, I could always tell you were standoffish towards Paul. I have no idea what you're talking about. You don't hold a candle to him, and you know it. I absolutely know it. Okay, he's all over the media for a reason. They call him when there is stuff to talk about because he is an expert. He is an ETF expert. He is an expert on talking about the market and the economy and what the effect could be. And look, he will be the first to admit it. He gets it wrong often enough, but he also gets it really right. And as far as me comparing myself to him, yeah, that's not going to happen. The reason that I partnered with him is because I know how good he is. And this isn't a, hey, let's kiss Paul's butt. I'm just saying I don't understand why somebody would say that. And also, and not to knock Paul, but I get I've gotten emails where people don't like him. I don't like Paul. I don't like the way he speaks. I don't like his cocky attitude. For some reason, I don't like his firm commitment, which he has on his opinions. Okay, a lot of people, and he told me stories of how people would message him, call him a jerk or worse, and just leave. Right? And I'm sure he's gotten emails about me. Fine, that's fine. Okay, that's not the point. It's different strokes for different folks. That's why they make vanilla, chocolate, and about 1 million other ice cream flavors. I'm not for everyone. Paul's not for everyone. What can you do? Then I will unsubscribe now. Thank goodness it saves me the 22 seconds that it would have taken me to unsubscribe you, you miserable cheeseburger. Okay, which I like that name. I may change my nickname from Tiny to Miserable Cheeseburger. I just love how he takes the high road and makes fun of, that's like a knock on my weight. He should have knocked on how ugly I am because if I lost weight, I'd still be ugly, and if I gained 400 pounds, I would still be ugly. So you probably should focus on me being ugly, not being heavy. But miserable cheeseburger, fine. If that's what he wants to call me, that's fine. I bid you adieu, good riddance. If you feel the same way, you can always unsubscribe from the lists, or you can feel free to write me an email and tell me how much I suck. When he unsubscribed, which is in a different email, they asked for comments, and the comment said Tiny sucks. He put in Tiny sucks. So I thought that was funny too. So there you go. I'm not going to mention your name, but I am going to read the email. So now you get your time in the spotlight, which is probably the only time anybody gives a rat's ass about you. So there you go. All right. Okay, great. Now let's talk about the two new stocks that I want to talk about, the people that actually do want to hear a little bit of what I say. I know I can go on for a little bit, and you don't like to hear everything I have to say. All right, so the first one is Cliffs. That is the lower priced one. All right, it's trading around $6.35. This was the last decent size correction, and a measured move using that as a starting point. Actually, has to go up a little bit higher, really. So hold on one second. Go up just a little bit higher there. It's close, right? It's about close. Brings us down to the 540 area. However, we are at support right here at the 50-day moving average. We also have horizontal support right here at 583. Okay, the stock has been in a pretty nice uptrend since the beginning of the year. The low was $1.20, high was up here at $8.45. That's a really nice move. Okay, remember the trend is your friend to the end when it bends. Is this the end of the trend? I mean, we do have what I call a comeback pattern here, and I'll talk about that in a second. But we also have a pullback in an uptrend. So is this a buy right here and now? Well, that's not how I make these trades. Okay, what I do is I look for a protocol I call ARC, A-R-C, Anticipate, Reversal, Confirmation. Okay, so we're anticipating a reversal here. We're anticipating this pullback to stop somewhere in this zone. Now we have to wait for the reversal to show up, and then we have to wait for confirmation of that reversal. Now, I go over all this stuff like the 3 rules to a perfect trade setup, the comeback trade, and the ARC methodology, as well as a whole bunch more. I go over that in a new course that I am putting together. You'll hear plenty about that new course when it is ready to be released, but it's basically going to be an entire course on market structure and looking at what sets up a perfect setup, all the different types of patterns, the rules of price action, all that good stuff. So I will let you know when that's ready. But 2 stocks to watch. The first one is Cliffs. The second one is Domino's Pizza. So I could have been called a miserable pizza, and that may have been more applicable. So again, here's a stock that is. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Let's go back to Cliffs real quick, and you can see they reported earnings recently, the end of July. Okay, so this is a non-earnings. Doesn't mean there can't be other news. Okay, and you see here's Domino's. They reported. When is this? They reported on the 21st of July. Look at this big pop up off of it. Okay, so this is a stock that looked like it was ready to go higher. It did go higher off of earnings, okay? And now it is in a bull flag. It is up here at all-time highs. It is in a nice consolidation. The bulls are catching their breath. Doesn't trade a whole bunch of volume, but it trades, let's see, what was it trading at the end of last week? It was lame as lame can be. Okay, so this is a stock to watch to see if it is going to continue. Once again, I like to wait for confirmation. But first target looks like a break of these highs, so 150, and then you could throw a Fibonacci grid on it if you want. Let's do a Fibonacci grid. We could do this, and we can do this, and then it looks like the neck. Oh, okay, so it's all right. So I did the Fibonacci grid wrong. That's not bad. Sorry about that. We could do. No, I did the. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to leave that in just to see how the mistake is, how bad the mistake was. So this was the first external retracement of this swing down. The second one is up here at 155.56. Okay, so I'm putting together a couple of free reports, and if you'd like any specific topics, let me know. One of them is going to be the 5 mistakes most people make when trading a small account. Okay, because there are a lot of mistakes that I have seen over the years. I remember I've been teaching for 16 plus years. I've taught thousands of traders how to trade the markets, how to look at charts, how to follow market structure, all that stuff. And then I'm doing actually another report based on a very famous book. I'm going to be doing my crib notes on it. So anyway, so that's just a little heads up, a little preview of what I've been working on. So the 2 stocks to watch, Domino's Pizza and Cliffs. HTBX has earnings coming up, so it's a pure gamble, but it's definitely one I want to watch, and I will talk about next week. But there is no trade on this. Even though the setup looks gorgeous, it is a pure freaking gamble ahead of the earnings report. Any questions? winningedgetrader@gmail.com. Any comments, any criticisms? I'm a big boy. I could take it. Don't worry. I won't out you in the video. I won't show your name or your email or anything like that. But if it's a good email, I'll definitely talk about it in next week's video. Any questions? winningedgetrader@gmail.com. Have a great trading week, and I will speak to you in next week's video.